All right, finally, after all this time and so many failed recordings, I finally am doing my analysis and assessment of the new David Corenswet outfit for Superman. Aptly titled Superman because it's not like we got a Superman movie all the way back in the past with Christopher Reeve. I hate when they title movies the same exact title and they drop the title from it. Superman Legacy, totally fine. God of War, you already know how confusing it is when you have God of War 2005 and God of War 2018. It was no reason for them to do any of that. Scream also does that. Just something with these requels and reboot sequels where they have to keep naming it the same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to make any form of sense in terms of name convention. Quick rant, like, please stop labeling movies as the same title it was years ago going forward, but that's never going to change because we have a full-on reboot of the DC universe, James Gunn's DC universe to be exact. Now, I watched a couple of Gunn movies. Honestly, I think the guy is a solid director. I think he makes very entertaining films. A lot of people like to compare him and Zack Snyder, even though they're best friends in real life, so I don't really get all the animosity that certain fans have against him. And they also pit him and Zack Snyder in a death match. I don't understand that. The guy wrote Dawn of the Dead remake and Zack Snyder directed it. They're friends. They got off big from that movie. Like, fucking understand. Like, just put all that shit aside and think for a second. Like, Gunn wrote it, Snyder directed. That movie was awesome with both of them. And I kind of wish collectively both of them still coordinated on projects or made movies together. That's just me. I would love to see a movie from Zack Snyder and James Gunn yet again. That's besides the point. We have a guy here that is faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, and now the entire city is being killed by a giant pink Kamehameha wave by Goku Black. What the fuck is going on back there? Just like, oh man, like, I don't know, just Superman is chilling, lacing up before he takes on that threat. And the suit itself, now, there's a couple of positives and negatives to it, at least in my opinion. It's not overall the worst thing I've seen. I'm gonna focus on the positive first. The boots. The boots look cool. Like, the boots look stylish. The cape. All of that stuff is fine. Red trunks this time. That's also fine. I thought they were gonna go with a Man of Steel style color formats with the blue pants and the blue upper body with all that there and the crest, very Kingdom Come-ish to me on David Corenswet's. Like, it looks like what you would expect from a modern Superman rendition. The gray belt, which is probably gonna have the symbol on it, the hope symbol, which is gonna be cool. Then we move on to the curl. Look, I don't care what people say. I know someone was complaining about this earlier, but I'm gonna focus on my opinion first. The curl is vital to Superman. It looks cool, man. Like, it's comic accurate when he has it. Therefore, in this costume itself, it being reflective is something they paid attention to. And I like that detail into the styling of the hair and the styling of the costume, the cape, everything. Moving on to what I feel mixed about is, I like the collar too. I'm just gonna say that on record. Like, the collar looks fucking dope as well. Enjoy that, appreciate that. There's nothing wrong with the color scheme in my opinion. It's a lot more, people say it's the darkest thing in the world, but I don't think that folks notice that Superman is covered in soot and dirt and grime. It looks like he had like a bath in some mud or something. I don't know, some black mud. But he's clearly not all right with the color palette because of the dirt and the battle damage. Therefore, the full blue is not showing on the top. So the pants is a good like indicator of the color palette. And it looks fine for what it is. It's a lot lighter than I expected it. It looks lighter than the Man of Steel outfit. Obviously, this still looks like a very dark hue, and while This one is close. Let me get a good picture of this, like zoomed in, because you know I'm fiddling with this on my computer, and I got a meme saved of like some chick's ass, and I thought it was funny. It's like a Kingdom Hearts reference, so I'm trying not to get that put into the video. So I get like fucking flagged or something like that. YouTube's like, oh, is some nudity there? No way, but it's just a meme that I was sharing. So I'm trying to like keep everything on screen with the suit. No ass today, just the suit, and that's it. No ass and Sora pointing at it from Kingdom Hearts. I just thought that shit was funny. Anyway, besides me talking about random stuff, the cuff link to the suits, where the sleeves cut off, I think they're fine. The things that I don't like, maybe you could have done without the lines being represented on the sleeves. I don't think they mesh well at all. I don't mind them on the lower body, where it looks like these are like pseudo, I don't know, knee insignias, but like these are fine right here, the stuff on his knees, and even the lines on the boots, that's fine. But to the sleeves, I don't know if they look the greatest. I don't know, man. I'm not really feeling that whatsoever, and I'm not feeling the fact that the costume looks kind of baggy. It just feels like if you're gonna make Superman, it should be a little bit skin tight, you know, showing the arms, showing the pecs and all that stuff. Like, no homo, just saying, like, that's how it should look like, as opposed to a baggy looking style of Superman's costume, which is something I didn't expect. It's not really the biggest deal breaker in the world, but it is still like just something where I'm like, maybe they could have fixed that a little bit. It doesn't look really great on the lower abdomen, but it could be Superman just getting ready and they wanted to do a quick photo of this. I like it though. Overall, it's more pros than cons with this first appearance of a modernized Superman in the new DC reboot. So it's a lot going for it, and I'm very glad that it seems like the actor is very enthused into what he's doing. It seems like the cast is very enthused as to what they're doing. I'm pretty sure, like, James Gunn makes entertaining movies, in my opinion. That's his draw. Like, he can make a very non-fat, entertaining film that you could watch and enjoy regardless of the pacing with it, and that's what I always thought Gunn had superior over Snyder. Snyder makes very good looking pictures, right? Very good looking films on screen, with great cinematography, but I feel like he struggles with finding competent screenwriters. Whereas James Gunn, he can make entertaining movies, and they don't have to be like 4 hours long, and it could just fit the mold, no problem. But I know people pointed to James Gunn's quality, I mean not quality, but his comedy aspect being a detriment to some people. And you know, humor is subjective. I feel there's going to be people that find things more funnier than others. Even serious moments will be chuckled at from certain people, even if it wasn't intended. I know I laughed a lot when Zod got his neck broken. I'm sorry, he broke his fucking neck. I just thought that shit was, it was a serious moment, very serious in Man of Steel, but I still laughed my fucking ass off when it happened. So there could be those moments as well where it's like serious moment intended. I was laughing at the bottom of the floor on the theater. Like, it's just non-stop laughter. Now we're gonna move on to the community aspect and how people are perceiving this outfit, and if I will agree or disagree with the notions made. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna pause the video and I'm gonna come right back. Before I rip into these people, I'm just gonna try to, you know, instill some positivity on you right there. See, the color scheme without him and the dirt on, look at this. The costume pops. The colors are vibrant. This is a very, very great edit. This edit is beautiful. This edit is magnificent. This edit is something where I hope the costume pops out when everything is color graded, everything is on camera, and it looks really, really nice. Just fantastic all around when you see the costume in this presentation. That being said, I'm not gonna play this video from this guy because he looks like he just came out of the trailer park. Like, he was unearthed out of wedlock by his father's cousin. All right. A lot of Snyder extremists going around saying, oh, it's shit, it's shit, it's shit, it's shit, it's shit. That's the only thing that constitutes towards their response. And honestly, it's just mouth breathing at this point. It's nothing really worth paying attention to, but again, I gotta cover it because I'm part of the comic book community. That's where all the ire is coming from. And like I said, this guy was born from his sister's brother. The brain capacity of Snyder extremists is next to zero, in my opinion. Fucking truly dumbass people. Like, I'm just gonna straight out say it like that. I'm sorry, like, there's some good Snyder fans out there, but there's some extremists out there that I can't take seriously whatsoever. Some person tried to say is that image like AI generated or something, and I don't think it is. Like, just because you run something through a scanner does not mean that it's AI generated whatsoever. I mean, I can run anything through a scanner and it probably will pick up AI generated. I'm not gonna say the image has been AI generated 100% unless I have proof and evidence to the contrary, and more than likely, I don't think they do. The only person that knows that really is James Gunn, and that's it. Then there's, and I'm going down a list of stuff I agree with, disagree with. I like this response right here, where the guy says, Snyder fans are basically like people who, they have a valid opinions because they glaze Rebel Moon, and Rebel Moon has not been the most fantastic thing in the world. Slow-mo, crop dusting, and guys talking about how grain is the most valuable weapon on the face of the earth. What? Yeah, Zack Snyder sometimes, you know, he's this alter philosopher where he has dialogue and that shit makes no sense sometimes, and that's one of my criticisms of Zack Snyder, as well as some of his movies being overtly long, like way too long, way too overblown. I was not a fan of Army of the Dead whatsoever. I feel like that's honestly one of his worst movies, if not for Rebel Moon. All right, which had so much, people said, oh, the lightsaber battles are so awesome. I just didn't see it outside of a great looking movie in terms of cinematography. But and then there's this, like, oh, Superman is in an effeminate pose. Oh, what? What's effeminate about a man lacing up his boots? It's not like he has his leg crossed or anything. I don't know where you got that read. Oh, it's not a good look for the strongest man in the universe. He's lacing a fucking boot. He's pulling up a boot. Like, what the fuck? How are you effeminate by doing that? I don't understand. Once again, it's just vapid, erroneous criticism. Let's see, there's someone who analyzed the fact that the cufflinks or the cuff-ins of his suit were way too big, and I really didn't have a problem with that. That's not something I took issue with. The lines, sure, it looks a little bit too overcomplicated for a suit, but everything else, I mean, that's not even a big deal, dude. Let's see. Oh, this one. Oh, why is Superman slowly putting on his boots while sitting down while the city is under attack? Not my Superman. All right. Well, let's break this down for a second, right? I'm 99.9% positive this is just a photo to showcase the costume and nothing more. It's not a story sort of trailer or steal or screenshot or whatever. It's just something to show off the outfit, and that's it. You know damn well, even if Superman is like sitting there getting his boot ready and about to fly the fuck out that window and stop that dude in like 0.03 nanoseconds, because that's how fast he is, at the end of the day, this is just really a publicity photo, and that's it. It's all for publicity. It's not for anything else but that. So why would you put some story context or expect some story context from a still to just show the costume and that's it? I think you're thinking way too deep into this equation. Then we have more. The panic is real because David Corenswet decided to bulk up as Superman. What panic? He's doing what he is supposed to do in a role like this, which is look the part. Huh? This has turned into a mini criticism sucks because I can't believe people just have the absence of mental capacity and thinking these days, man. It makes no fucking sense. Alright, let's continue. Look at this. Why is he not smiling? I don't know if that's a troll because people levied that criticism towards Henry Cavill as Superman. Why is he not smiling? So that might be a troll. Why David Corenswet is not smiling, but I mean, he's ready to go to work pretty soon, which is knock whatever is doing that giant ray beam out of the stratosphere and go back to a normal life. And then there's people I agree with, where this guy said, you can't compare the full suit because once again it has dirt and soot on it and it's a man just sitting down. I need to see a full body assessment before I could properly assess the outfit. And I think that's fair. I think that's fair, right? It's not the greatest photo for seeing full detail because you don't see like everything in the shot. So I would have preferred if he was standing up, then I would have more to say. But for now, for what it is, I do like it, but I do see that point. And then there's Birdman who said he would have preferred a more comic accurate, skin tight looking Superman just like this, where he said it's overly designed. I'm not saying it's bad, just that there are elements that are obviously unnecessary. Red trunks are nice though. Why do studios refuse to make clean, comic accurate suits trying to reinvent the wheel? What is wrong with just doing this? And I believe, you know, there are people who like doing that because I think the Superman Returns outfit or how it kind of looked is kind of like the classic Superman skin tight. The Snyder outfit is also skin tight, but there are differences there. And there are people who also want to do their own rendition, which is why when he brought up examples like Wolverine, Deadpool, all that stuff, and how it's not like similar to the classic style Wolverine, but it is a modernized take. I think that's exactly what they're doing, where they want to try to put some accents on there, some lines, and see what they could do with their own version, which is not 100% similar to the original classic design. I know you could take that and put your own spin on it, and also you can do modernize and cool things with it without really changing the full aspect of what makes the costume. But personally speaking, again, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. And once you see costumes in motion, once you see them look badass and all that other stuff, you might end up changing your mindset and saying, hey, this looks pretty good with this lighting on it, with this sort of dynamic camera on it. And I have no problems with it, but I do like when they cater to old style designs. Like I liked it when Luke Cage had the fucking yellow and the stupid tiara, and he made fun of it. Sure, I mean, of course, that's one thing that kind of gets me too, is like, oh, they make fun of it and then they throw the costume away. But there was an attempt made to make it look like the classic character, which is fine. It's fine if they do that, and it's also fine if they take liberties and make something worthwhile, as opposed to saying, hey, here's, you know, the yellow spandex, fuck our legacy and everything like that. With the X-Men, it's like I would rather them try to do something and try to make something unique than not at all. And there's this other guy. The last point is, he said some people were saying the costume is too dark, it's battle damage, it's dirt. I don't know how that's not the first thing that people noticed. Oh, there was also lines on the New 52 outfit. Well, I wasn't really like into the New 52 series. I knew about it, but I knew about the story. Flash went back, things changed, and now he had this new era after Flashpoint Paradox. So they started a new chain from that. But I did notice there was lines on there, so maybe they were trying to emulate that, sort of. I kind of see the vision now. Although I do wish it was still like maybe I don't know if they should have went with the red since he has like the trunks on the red belt. Maybe the yellow one, that would have made a lot more sense, right? And they could have made I like on New 52 they have this red line on the neckline, right? They could have used something from that as well as the red cuffs and everything where you see it on his hands. So I do think they maybe if they should have combined elements of this costume and put it on David Corenswet, it would have probably popped out a little more. I'm not sure if this was just a test outfit and they're trying to do fine ups and touches on it, but they probably are. This is probably not like gonna look remotely like this once it's in motion. It's gonna look probably a lot more better, a lot more refined, and when we have like that motion on it, oh man, I can't wait. I think it's fine for what it is. Could use refinements, but not the worst thing in the world. Anyway, like some of these opinions on this outfit, like at least the bad ones, kind of don't make any sense. Oh, Superman is effeminate. Like what? Like what the fuck is that shit? Like seriously. Okay, I don't agree with that. And again, like Snyder people are just sitting there glazing hella mid and bad like Rebel Moon and saying that, oh, James Gunn is the worst person in the world. Well, I mean, you know, I guess the worst person in the world would be that drop in numbers for that Rebel Moon viewership because week 2 was awful. Oh my god in heaven. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But seriously, the extremists, you guys are just terrible at any form of discussion whatsoever. And that's all I think. Like Snyder fans, sure. I'm sure you people don't mean harm at all, but the extremists, fuck off. That's what I have to say. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed this analysis and assessment of the Superman suit. Comment below, let me know what you think of it. Personally, there is still a little bit of work to be done, but there is more pros than cons in my opinion. Sound off and let me know, and I will talk to you guys later.